Hey everybody, DonnyXCage here, and this will be my second attempt at making a movie review for the Marvels because the first one got copyrighted, and it got copyrighted a lot to the point where they just blocked it entirely. Now I thought it was fair use to just use clips. I inverted the video, I made sure I didn't really use too long of clips, but apparently that doesn't matter. So we'll be using stills instead, but now I feel like I need to record something a little shorter. So our movie opens with a red sun, some ships pass by, and yeah, the usual kind of stuff. We get introduced to this lady with huge shoulder pads, I might add, and she tippy taps some artifact that they dug out of the ground. This reveals a bangle. A bangle just like Miss Marvel's. And yeah, then they do everybody's little favorite jump cut, which is, but where could it be? And then it cuts to the thing.
Like what?
So we jump to, and we're at Miss Marvel's place. Miss Marvel has a really cool opening. It opens with MIA, which is a pretty decent song. It's probably corny that I like it, but I like it. Then Miss Marvel does a kind of animated sequence where she's fantasizing about meeting Captain Marvel. It's pretty cool. It looks like maybe they use some of the department from the Miles Morales Spider-Man movies, but it's really good. I actually really enjoyed that. We kind of get this one part here where I'm a little suspect because I'm like, it seems like they're hinting that Miss Marvel's into Captain Marvel, and I'm like, it's a little uncomfortable. And it also comes off as stalkery as well, like in some other aspects, and I'll show that. And it's kind of funny because I said this and I recorded my original review weeks ago at this point, and all that controversy came out recently about the whole like lesbian joke with an underage Miss Marvel. So I guess I was onto something. Anyway, Miss Marvel fantasizes about Captain Marvel, and then Captain Marvel kind of scoops her up and flies her away. And I have this kind of like, I don't know, it's just so weird to me because I'm like, I like Superman. I watched like the cartoons, you know, like the ones that were on back in the day. And I've never fantasized about this man just scooping me up and flying me away. Moving on. So Captain Marvel is watching her memories, I guess, on playback, and it's just as boring as the Captain Marvel movie. We jump to Nick Fury and Monica Rambeau, and they're doing some stuff in space with some space panels. Yes, that's what I'm calling them, space panels. They're doing their thing out there, and Nick Fury calls Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel's like, yeah, I'll go check it out. Is that Monica here? And then Monica's like, I don't want to talk to her. And there's like this really awkward whatever, because I guess she feels like Captain Marvel left her behind when she said she was going to come back. So that's kind of fair. So Captain Marvel says she's going to go check it out. And wait. The cat can breathe in space? When did she figure this out? How did she figure it out? Did she just leave one day with the cat into space? I know it's supposed to be an alien, but it's never... You know what? Let's move on. So all this stuff with Nick Fury and space is all well and good. And I know we've kind of, you know, moved into the stars with like Secret Invasion. But doesn't it seem odd to anyone else how much knowledge they seem to just have now about space shit? Like, did they get information from Rocket and, you know, that's what is happening? Was there something I missed in one of the TV shows or the movies where this is kind of hinted at or alluded at? They just suddenly seem to know a lot about space. How would he know about the warp panels or whatever the hell in the space-time whatever, you know? And then what does he say? His neurocomputer or some shit? What is that?
Thankfully, our neural network team was able to trace the origin.
So anyway, everybody's doing their own thing. Captain Marvel goes to touch the space panel, and Monica goes to touch the space panel as well. Kamala's bangle lights up, and then they all switch places. Convenient that they all seem to touch that at the same time, isn't it? So we get the first instance of them switching places, and yeah, it's, you know, kind of funny or whatever. But like I said, Kamala's room is very stalkerish. Anyway, everybody switches back to their place, and Kamala has her little starstruck moment of finding out Captain Marvel was in her home and in her room and all that stuff, and it's okay. Now we jump to this other planet, and this is where I really start to have questions, because it seems like the Skrull have their own planet, What the fuck was the point of Secret Invasion? Didn't these lying dicks say that they didn't have a home to go to or anywhere to go?
Carol Danvers and I will find you a new one.
But now they have a planet? Did I miss something in one of the movies? So Dar-Ben, the lady with the shoulder pads, she talks to the Skrull leader and tells them that she's going to strip the planet of the atmosphere, and she's not really asking for their permission. She's telling them that they can rejoin the Kree Empire and live together peacefully. They never really say if the Skrull agree to it or not. I mean, it seems like they don't really have a choice. And then we have them switching places again. We get led into a fight scene where the Marvels start to switch places again, and it's a little confusing for me personally because the switching is so inconsistent. They hint to it being that when they use their powers, they switch, but it's not every time they use their powers. It's like there's some kind of a cooldown or something. I don't know. The scene's pretty decent, and it's just like what you've seen in the trailers. The cat gobbles everyone up, everyone goes back to their original places, and then Monica and Nick head back to Miss Marvel's place to go recruit her or talk to her about her powers. During the discussion, Miss Marvel gets excited, uses her powers, switch places with Captain Marvel again. Captain Marvel has a little awkward moment with Monica, and then she goes outside to fly out to go back to where she was because she was in the middle of a fight, and now Miss Marvel's there. But while she's flying up, she switches places with Miss Marvel, and now Miss Marvel's flying to her death. Now Monica has to fly up and catch Kamala.
Hey, Black Girl Magic!
Yeah, they switch places at the last minute, and Carol's the one that hits the ground, and we got a nice little funny moment.
Oh, it's cool. It's Carol.
So when they swap places with Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau and Miss Marvel are on Dar-Ben's ship, and Man Bun Guy tells her, hey, these people are with Captain Marvel. So, a fight breaks out as Captain Marvel shows up, and it seems like Dar-Ben's winning, but then she leaves, which is kind of confusing, but whatever. Kamala has another super fan moment as Carol Danvers picks her up, calls her by her name, and flies her away. So the planet begins to lose atmosphere because Dar-Ben used the bangle. Dar-Ben says that because the Skrull brought the Annihilator, Captain Marvel, the offer's off the table for the Skrull. The Skrull are pissed because now they have to pay the tab, and Captain Marvel left her wallet in her other suit. Whoops. So they scramble to rescue everybody, and yeah, the decision's made ultimately that they can't save everybody, or that's what Captain Marvel says to Kamala. And this should have been a more powerful moment, but it's not because it's kind of brushed over like it was just the right thing to do. Captain Marvel and the Skrull leader talk on the ship. The Skrull leader is obviously upset with her, and she tries to explain that she's going to find them another place to go, and they say they have no choice. Then King Valkyrie shows up. Yes, King Valkyrie, in a suit. I have tons of questions, but I can't be bothered to stop because it's Marvel, and this is what they've been doing lately, so moving on. Valkyrie and Captain Marvel hug and have a quick discussion, and I'm, again, confused because when the fuck did they become friends? When did this happen? How long have I been out of the loop?
Ever gone mountain biking?
What do you want to be when you grow up?
What's the right tip? Have you called a plumber to your home lately? How superstitious are you?
How much money would it take to make you spend a night in a cemetery?
Would you display this as a trophy? Do you have a pet?
Do you have a sweet tooth?
So she leaves and takes the Skrull with them. Now, this part of the movie I actually really do like. And it's cool because mainly I can imagine different scenarios surrounding it. I can imagine a better story being attached to this part. Dar-Ben goes back to the home planet Hala, and she takes off her mask in front of everybody and kind of lets them know that they can breathe. And it's such a cool and powerful scene, or it would have been if they told a good story, but they didn't. Dar-Ben and Man Bun talk about what steps are going to be taken next, and there's a short backstory, and calling it a backstory is me being very, very gracious about it. But basically, Dar-Ben runs down a hallway, Captain Marvel drops some rocks on her, then she destroys the supercomputer, and then that's it. Man Bun continues to tell her that using both bangles is extremely dangerous and will probably kill her. She doesn't care, and we move on. Back on the ship, we get some more bonding, and it goes by pretty quickly. And this is kind of one of those moments where the movie kind of loses me because we have moments that are supposed to be very deep and emotional, and they just go by so quickly. Like if I list them off, as quickly as I'm listing them off is as quickly as it happens. Monica confronts Captain Marvel about abandoning her and never coming back. Captain Marvel gives a flimsy excuse. Monica calls her out on it. They go upstairs. Captain Marvel apologizes to Kamala for being mean, quote unquote. And then Kamala and her have a moment. They shake hands, and then we get a weird fangirl moment. Then Kamala says that she thinks Darben's getting her powers from a bangle that's just like hers. And then Captain Marvel calls it a quantum bangle, and I scoff. Captain Marvel suggests using this torture device thing that lets you play back your memories, and everybody agrees to it for some reason. And the reason that they're doing this is because Kamala saw some spaceship numbers or something, some star charts on Darben's ship. Exactly what you think is going to happen using this machine happens. And yeah, Captain Marvel starts thinking about Monica's mom. That leads Monica to get mad, and Monica starts thinking about how she lost her mom, and then we watch some really sad memories. Then everybody leaves the machine, and they realize where Darben's going to go next. Again, if you think I'm going through this really fast, yes, I'm doing my part to narrow this down so I don't have to have you watching still images for a long time. But this is how fast it goes by in the movie, too. They clear all these obstacles very fast. There's no emotional development whatsoever. We then get a quick cut of Nick Fury in his office, and then this cat licks itself with like a tentacle mouth. This is such a strange note for a film, but please, less cat. It's enough. Enough. After the practice montage, we cut back to Saber, and they seem to be finding these weird goober egg things in the wall panels, and it kind of cuts away, and we don't really get to figure that out until later. Arriving at a water planet that Captain Marvel suggested might be attacked next, we learn more about Captain Marvel, I guess, a little bit. We're at this planet where everyone seems to sing instead of talk normally. We get some singing and dancing, and Kamala stays in character. She's dancing around. Monica's not doing anything because they couldn't be bothered to give her any personality. We meet the prince, and yeah, he's wearing some kind of weird butterfly crown thing, and he's very feminine. I think he's got makeup on. Anyway, we get a very, very rare moment in Marvel, and yes, they allowed Captain Marvel to be womanly. Yep, take it in, everybody. She's wearing a dress, she's got on makeup, and she even sings and dances. At the end of the dance, she asks for some battle-ready clothes and tells them that she's here for something else. We cut back to Saber, and they're finding more goobers in the walls. Cutting back to the water planet, the Marvels have superhero uniforms. This confused the hell out of me because do the people on this planet make superhero uniforms all the time? Did they just have this on deck? How did they make it so quickly? Darben shows up, threatens the prince. The prince says he'll never kneel, and we get a fight. During the fight, Darben knocks them away. She jumps up to a ship. They jump up to the ship after her. Kamala shows her the bangle for some reason. She asks where Kamala got the bangle. We get a funny scene.
She got that. My grandma! She sent it to me in the mail.
Then, after all this happens, Kamala and Monica run away. Now, again, more confusion because Monica suddenly knows how to fly this spaceship really well for some reason. While flying away, Captain Marvel takes over and starts flying the ship. Then Kamala hits the button to jump because it's that easy. They jump away, and Kamala says that she had to make the hard decision because they didn't want to lose the bangle, and they left all those people to fend for themselves. Again, they abandoned people. Back on Saber, they're finding out that the eggs are for some reason draining power from the space station, and the evacuation pods aren't going to work. Now, call me crazy, but the evacuation pod's power source shouldn't be connected to the main ship's power source, because that defeats the purpose of a fucking evacuation pod when you need it, if it relies on the main ship functioning properly. If the main ship was functioning properly, you wouldn't need to evac. Anyway, we get some fake crying, and they all share their feelings, and they come together, I guess. I don't know. Back on the space station, we find out what the eggs are. Kittens. Alien kittens. And we find out what the backup plan to get everyone off the ship, since the evacuation pods aren't working, is. Guess. Just fucking guess. The plan is to let all the kittens eat everybody, and then stick the kittens in the evacuation pods because there's more space for kittens than there is for people. Here's my thing. This scene would have been great. It would have been funny. I definitely felt like it was funny, but it was hard to laugh at it because so much of the film they dedicate to like these little cat jokes, and it gets old really fast. So by the time this scene comes around where like sad, like slow music's playing and people are getting like slurped up and whatever by these cats, It's not funny. I'm like drained. I'm tired of the cat jokes. Let's move on. We get our final fight scene with Darben. A pillar falls on her leg and pins her under a rock. Monica then thinks of a solution to save Hala without stealing resources from other planets. Turns out that if you fly Captain Marvel into a sun, you can restart a sun, and then there you go. Now they'd have their atmosphere and their planet. They tell Darben this, they lift the rock up, and yeah, because Darben's a cookie cutter villain, she takes Kamala hostage, takes the bangle, clicks the bangles together, kills herself in the process of ripping open the space-time continuum, and now they have to figure out what to do. Captain Marvel gives Kamala the bangles, and then they all shoot their light powers into Monica Rambeau.
Just give me the light and pass the joe. What's another buckle of more?
Monica Rambeau sews up the space panels, but she's on the wrong side of the space panels, so now she's stuck in a parallel dimension. Now the movie's finally wrapping up. We see them go back to planet Earth. They pack up Monica's office. They help Captain Marvel move into her brand new home in Louisiana. They have a bonding moment in a plane, and roll credits. We get a scene of Kamala doing her best Nick Fury impression to recruit Hawkeye's daughter, and we're supposed to be hyped. I'm not hyped. Then, another post-credits scene. Monica wakes up, and who's there? Yes, the X-Men. The X-Men are there, Beast leaves, and Monica's mom's there, but it's not Monica's mom. It's, I guess, this universe's Captain Marvel, but she has the bangles, which is also, a good question. Final thoughts for the film. The movie's okay if you shut your brain off. It's not totally boring, but they clear so many emotional obstacles so quickly, it's kind of unbelievable. You can feel that the movie's rushed and that they just wanted to get it out the door. I can see where it might have been meant to have been 3 hours or so, but yeah, there's no way anybody was going to watch a 3-hour Marvel's film. It just wasn't going to happen. I feel like they really missed the mark on telling a good story with moral ambiguity. If we had been given more time with the Kree and Darben and watching them suffer and let the audience empathize with her, when she rises to power and fights back to Captain Marvel or whatever, and they're struggling and all this stuff, it would have made more sense and we would have more dynamics with Darben as a character. But instead, they chose to make her a cookie-cutter villain who's just doing bad guy things for the sake of being bad. Even that moment where the pillar falls and pierces her legs, that would have been a really cool moment for them to have felt bad, instead of feeling great about defeating this evil character, But yeah, they really missed the mark, and yeah, it's not terrible. It's not great. I don't know. 5 of 10. I'll see you in the next one, guys.